Hello.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the pod.
Happy to be here. I feel like it's only been a couple weeks since we've chatted because we skipped last week recording, but feels like a long time.
It does. And whenever we skip a week, I'm like, what's happening?
Like, do we even have a podcast anymore?
Yeah.
We
Um,
do,
yeah,
promise.
life is good. It's starting to warm up, kinda, minus yesterday and today.
Oh
In
my
Edmonton,
God, the wind
spring is like
yesterday like
attempting to
ate
be
my
here.
soul.
The wind today is trash also.
Oh,
So
okay. I haven't been outside yet.
yeah, we're also trash today. Do you have a win?
Mm, we have kind of a mindset win, I guess. We're turning a loss into a win.
Okay.
Um, So earlier this week, I did some ski instructor exams and I was unsuccessful. However, based on the results of everybody else in the exam, and if you caught my Insta stories, you'll have already heard this. But out of 11 of us, only one person passed the whole thing. There's two parts. Okay. And like a couple people passed one part, a couple people passed the other part, and then one person got their full
Okay.
certification. The rest of the people, good luck. Try again next time.
Okay.
And based on like normally I would be like, oh, I'm bummed. But at the same time, I was like, everybody on this exam, like they all like live and work at Ski Hills.
Okay.
I don't, right? I was probably easily the only person there who was a parent running a business, like having things going on outside of skiing. And I was like, I don't feel so bad about my effort because I think I put in 100% of what I had,
Mhm.
whether or not I had like 75% to give, whatever that was. And I'm like, yeah, I am never gonna make like a living teaching skiing.
Fair.
So like I was like, we're good here. It's fine.
Mhm.
Right. Plus I also got offered a teaching opportunity for next year without knowing any sort of results from the exam. And I was like, well, that's a positive.
I love that.
So it was just kind of like being okay with what do they call it? Failing forward, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Plus, I got a really good start on my tan. I don't know if you can see. Got
Yep.
some good goggle tan lines. I did wear sunscreen. Thanks for asking, but
Still caught up on you. Yeah.
still good.
Yeah, no, I think that's cool that like it might not have been the outcome you were looking for, but there was still a new opportunity that came
It
out
just
with it.
felt very my brain felt very mature about how I handled the whole situation.
It's like, cool, what's next?
Yeah, like I really felt like an adult there, which I know you're like, Jess, come on, like you are. And I'm like, yes, except that sometimes we just don't feel like adults.
Yeah,
And I didn't shed a tear. My eyes did not well up when I was talking to the examiner about like just to get an explanation or whatever.
we
I
love
was
that.
cool and calm and like super grown up about it. And I was like, huh, maybe we are maturing.
We love that.
I don't know. Anyways, that's my win. What's
We love
yours?
that. I have a little bit of a fat loss slash physique.
Oh, I've been seeing your Insta. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been like not really do or die in a fat loss phase. Let's word it that way. Like I'm still living life, doing my thing. Um, but just like a little bit of a win. I'll send it to you right now as we're talking so you can see it. I need to share it on Instagram as well, but I've been sharing my like, I don't know, December to now transformations.
Mhm.
Yesterday I put together like 2 years apart and it is crazy and not even crazy like number wise, just like the impact that your living situation and your stress and all those things come like how it comes through
Yeah.
in your body. So I'll send you the one so you can see it. Currently sitting around like 173 pounds, which I don't use weight as like a big progress tracker. Progress pictures are my jam because I think you usually see the physical changes before or more so than the scale
So
changing.
this is 2021,
Yeah, so this would be like April 2022.
2022. Wow.
But like what's crazy, and I'll share it on Instagram because eventually, um, I am the same weight that I was in my like 4-month transformation in those top pictures, but like the inflammation is crazy in that first picture. So currently I'm sitting like 12 pounds down since December, which is cool because I haven't, like I said, been really like do or die with fat loss. Like I track macros a couple days a week just to check in with my nutrition. I've been really consistent with like getting my steps in and getting my workouts in and sleeping well, which I think those are always going to be the most important. But it's cool to be able to lose fat, feel better in my body, but not have to go to the extremes to do it. And like as a fat loss coach, this is what I preach all the time, that like the extremes are not going to get you to where you want to be. But also in the last 4 months, my living situation has changed. And I think as much as I've been doing the other work, that was a huge underlying stress in my life that I don't think I realized was impacting how I felt and looked as much as it actually was. Because nothing I'm doing now is crazy different from when I was living in my apartment 4 months ago. It just looks a lot different. And I think that shit's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, you know, it's funny. People want to talk about they want to talk about like cortisol and things like that, but we are really quick to, and I know you're such a big advocate of this, but like people are really quick to be like, take this supplement, like drink this thing, do this thing. Like, but I know you've said it before, like there's no amount of ashwagandha that's going to like reverse your life stress.
No, take your
And
magnesium twice a day if you want to, but if your life continuously, and we all have stress in our life because we live in the
yeah,
world we do, but like if you hate your living, like I hated my living situation, multiple pieces of it. Like if you wake up every day dreading the life you live, we probably want to make some changes there before we just double our magnesium dose every day.
yeah, yeah. And you know, I feel like I've said this so many times to so many different people is that your body doesn't compartmentalize good stress and bad stress. It just knows stress. So if you throw in a whole bunch of life stress and then you throw in a whole bunch of high intensity workout stress and then you throw in the stress of depriving yourself in a restrictive diet, what do you think is going to be the outcome?
There's also a really cool book. It's more on the trauma side of things, but it's called The Body Keeps the Score. If you never read it, it's a
We
cool
talked
one.
about it when we had what's her name on the pod a while ago she's from Victoria. You know her from Nate.
Nikki. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Body Keeps Score. It's more a trauma one, but it's super cool. And this is not what we're talking about today, but just a side tangent that if you're ever questioning how like your life, your situations, your relationships, your trauma, whatever affects your body and your life, you should probably pick up the book and give it a good old read.
Yeah.
And it will blow your mind.
Yeah, we do have a couple of questions today. I did remember last minute to throw up a question box. Gotta set a reminder on my phone to throw it up earlier. So first question was, what's the deal with hydrogen water? And I had never heard of this. So I did a quick type into the old Google machine. Because my initial thought was, isn't water already two parts hydrogen?
You sent me the text of hydrogen water, my brain whole ass was like, isn't that just water? I'm confused.
Yes. So water is indeed 2 hydrogen atoms,
H2.
1 oxygen atom.
I may have almost failed chem, but I do know that much. So.
Right. The The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That's
Yeah, all I
biology,
got.
but we always
Yeah.
remember that. Okay, but for the low price of 205 Canadian, you can buy a water bottle that will put more hydrogen. It uses a process. This is what it says. It uses a process called electrolysis, which my first thought was it takes care of your bikini line too, because if that is the case, maybe we are on board with this. That's not the case. It puts extra hydrogen into, it puts electricity into your water in this special bottle. This is what it says. The electricity splits the water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. Then the hydrogen gas is infused into the water, creating hydrogen-enriched water. It's safe because only the hydrogen gas is added to the water. And then you can enjoy the refreshing taste and potential health benefits. So it claims to boost your energy levels. It claims that it improves symptoms of chronic disease, enhances athletic performance. You don't have to change. There's no refills or anything to change. It supports weight loss, suitable for all ages, antioxidants, clear skin, and strong joints. So my initial thoughts of this was, would we not achieve the same thing drinking non-hydrogenized water? Of course, there was a list of research and studies. So I clicked on a few of them. None of them had anything to do with hydrogen water.
Cool.
So ignore. And then I found one that was WebMD, which we know is not 100%, but at least it was recent. So it was March of 2023, and it just says that blah, blah, blah. It increases energy, slows down aging, improves muscle recovery. You can buy hydrogen water that's bottled, or you can get tablets. It just says that there's the health benefits. Current research into the health benefits is limited. Further research is needed to confirm. It doesn't change the nutritional content, so we can skip over that. And then it goes into the actual potential benefits. It says that there was a study of 49 people that had liver cancer that drank hydrogen-rich water for 6 weeks during radiation therapy, and it helped. The quality of life scores were higher in the group that drank the hydrogen water versus the placebo.
Okay.
Then there was a study. Just wait. You're going to love this one. There was a study of 10 soccer players that showed drinking hydrogen water may reduce muscle fatigue and muscle function decline caused by exercising. There's no risks, although if you drink too much water, you can get hyponatremia. Don't be scared of hyponatremia. That's very rare.
How much water do you have to drink to waterlog yourself?
Yeah. And then it says, if hydrogen water is out of your price range, you can get the majority of benefits by, wait for it,
What could it be?
Regular water.
Wow. My hand, I hope somebody watches YouTube so you can watch my
How long was your hand up? Because I was on a different screen.
Oh, it's been up for a while. This is just like my hand going up is the ADHD version of like putting a pin in something, because as soon as I put my hand down, the thought's gonna leave. So I have to just leave it up.
Fine. I just had to finish reading this study.
Yeah. My statement was just, you know what else does all of those things?
Yeah.
Water. You know what you could do if you're looking to get more benefits out of your water?
Electrolytes.
Filter it, add some electrolytes, maybe filter it and add some electrolytes. Crazy. Because I won't lie to you, like our water quality, not great. Like if you're out here drinking tap water, you're going to be fine. Lots of people do it. We've done it for a long time. It's fine. But like, if you're like, hey, I need more out of my water, get a good water filter. That's not going to cost you $200. Well, nope. The water filter I use is literally like $60, and refills are like a 3-pack is like $30.
Right.
So.
Yeah, my fridge has a water filter that we change out all the time. So here's the thing. This is a perfectly good example of correlation does not equal causation. So all two of those very tiny studies. I mean, a study of 10 soccer players. My God, wherever did we find these people?
Also, you know what else helps with muscle recovery? Water,
Protein. But like,
movement.
here's the thing. That like correlation does not equal causation, right? So just because they drank hydrogen water doesn't mean they were any better off than the people who drank regular water. I sincerely doubt it makes that much of a difference. For $200 for this little glass water thingy that you just and it's like makes a tornado. For I can do that science experiment tornado thing for free.
Do you think if I use my like blender for my greens, it would do the same thing?
I don't know if it's like splitting the molecules, but you could try.
It feels like the same idea. If all it's doing is swirling my water, I feel like if I like shake it hard enough in a shaker bottle, it might be.
Yeah. And the thing is like, I only heard about this in the last couple days. Somebody asked about it and I saw an ad for something a couple days ago. So something tells me it's going to be like the next little micro trend that we see.
It's going to be the new Ozempic.
No, I think that's a macro trend.
Oh,
It's a big, yeah, but I also know that like it can be very helpful for people who are like diabetics who actually need
almost
medication
like what it
like
was created for. That's weird.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be as big as like greens powders or anything like that, but I think hydrogen water is going to be fit for the pit.
Yeah, I think it'll be a short-lived, like you'll see a few people on TikTok that are like, this changed my life. And then in 2 months, they'll no longer be using
there'll be an ad.
Water bottle. Yeah.
If you see it as an ad, it's probably like most of the time, I know there's good stuff out there, but like most of the time, nah.
Yeah.
We did have another question. I think we can have put that to bed. Like, I feel like we don't really need to discuss.
That's all you need to know. Don't worry about it. You see it pop up, be like, nah, I'm good.
I would skip over. I'd be like, thanks. I already have twice as many hydrogens to oxygens in my water. So like, I'm good here.
Yeah.
And people will be like, oh man, you're on trend. And you're like, actually, it's just science.
Ahead of the trend over here.
Just science. Something that somebody asked, and I've seen this, the internet is up in arms about this one. And there was I think it was a podcast, but they I saw it on a TikTok. It was a recording of a podcast. So someone said that everybody thinks walking is exercise, but the people on the podcast were like, no, it is absolutely not exercise.
Oh.
So is walking exercise?
Hot take. Yeah, like short answer, yes. I think any type of intentional movement you choose to do is exercise. Long answer, is it going to be the right intensity of exercise for everyone? All like as the only thing you ever do? Probably not. But is it still exercise? Yeah. Yes.
My answer is yes and. Mm-hmm. Because when we draw a hard line of this is exercise, this is not, we are gatekeeping exercise from people whose bar is so low that they're not doing anything. Mm-hmm. So you've got this person who's sitting on the couch who's like, I really need to start moving my body. I need to get healthier. I want to feel better. But they look at something like that and they say, well, even walking doesn't count. So,
or walking the waste of my time or whatever it may be.
And that gives them nowhere to start.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then you have somebody who is like the opposite end of the spectrum, let's say Jill, for example. I know that your step count is very high most days. Mm-hmm. So if we look at that, I would say for you, walking isn't necessarily your exercise. It's just daily movement. But
Mhm.
we do know that in order to progress to anywhere, and we should be progressing in all of our activities, we do need progressive overload, right? So
Yeah.
if you're already taking, 15 to 20,000 steps a day, maybe walking isn't your exercise. YouTube got a little bit of a treat there. With that
Yeah, I
pal.
think like yeah, I hope somebody watches on YouTube because you
At least
never
two
know.
people. At least two
Um,
people.
yeah, I think like it's all relative. Like, yeah, walking is part of what I do for exercise, but if I only walked, I'm not getting to where I want to be. Like, yeah, it's better than nothing. Yeah, I still get my steps in every day, but like I have to do more than that. Whereas if your body is used to nothing, exercise can 100% be the thing that starts getting you the progress you want to have.
And if you're somewhere in between,
Do both.
movement is always better than no movement.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. There's really no, there's no and or but about that statement. Some kind of movement will always be better than zero movement, period.
Yeah. And like if you're not consistently walking currently, that could also be the reason you're not where you want to be mentally, physically, whatever it may be. Like I think on the other side of this, walking is so underrated. Like the amount of clients
Mhm.
and people I talk to that are like, well, I go to the gym 3 times a week. And I'm like, okay, what else do you do? And they're like, nothing. I'm like, do we walk? Well, sometimes. Like
Mhm.
if we don't have walking as our baseline, even if you're in the gym a few times a week, even if you're going to group classes, even if you have other things you're doing, you still gotta walk. I think that is a low barrier to entry, fairly accessible for most people, way to get to where you want to be. But it gets overlooked because it's not enough to some people.
Yeah. And I can say like it could be definitely not enough for some people, but I would bet that everybody who listens to this podcast doesn't fall into that category. I think we could all use a few more steps, to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest.
Like I don't care if you go to the gym 6 times a week. If you're not walking, there's still more you can be doing.
Yeah. I did see the TikTok that is up in arms because I've seen it stitched like 1,000 times. And I just think that we're still in a as a population, we still have people who don't move at all. And until that doesn't exist, we really can't, like, who are we to gatekeep movement from anybody? I just don't get that vibe. And I just feel like that's just a really toxic side of the fitness industry that I don't understand and I have zero time for.
Yeah, like why are we I don't understand why we feel like we need to tell people not to walk. Like no part of my brain is like why? Like there's lots of things we probably don't need to be doing, but walking is 100% a thing we should all be doing.
Yeah, I agree. Even if if you're like a runner and you're getting a few like thousands of steps a day and you're lifting and all those things, walking is not just the physical benefits either, right? We can't really we can't measure that part of it, but I can't say that there's anybody who's like, yeah, walking's really bad for my mental health.
Yeah. No, I think
Terrible. I hate it. It might be bad for my mental health depending on who is on the walk with me and how slow we're actually going.
Or we live in Alberta, so like sometimes the weather really puts a damper on that whole walking thing.
But if you're on a walk with, let's say, a toddler and a crazy dog, and you're worried about your mental health, AirPods and either music, a podcast, or an audiobook will save you.
Just pretend you're in a different world.
You heard it here first. Yeah, just go somewhere else.
Think happy thoughts. Yeah, I just don't think like, yeah, go for a walk. It's not going to do any harm. Is it going to, it's not going to do any harm. It could be the thing you're missing from your routine. But also like if you walk consistently all the time, you're someone like me that like steps are between 10 and 12,000 a day, and you've worked up to that, yeah, you're probably going to need to add something else like strength training to your routine to get some more results. But if you're starting at nothing, start walking and go from there.
I agree. Even if you're already walking, you could add a few more minutes to your walk. Now, we don't want to get carried away and end up walking all day long. However,
I dare someone to try to walk all day long. I dare you.
I mean, with the rise of the like walking pad or the walking treadmill, or the treadmill desk type situation, I have had times where I hope she listens to this. I've had a couple of clients who get them and they're like, yeah, I'm just gonna walk and be on a meeting or whatever, and they end up walking for like 2 hours straight, and they're like, why did I have no energy for my workout? And I too have done this where I've walked during a podcast recording or something like that, and I've been like, man, I'm so tired. And I'm like, yeah, because you just walked for like 2 hours straight. And if you are one of those people who says that walking doesn't count, I dare you to walk for your entire workday and then come back and let us know how easy it was for you.
I was going to say, I guarantee you the people that say walking doesn't count aren't walking.
Yeah, probably.
Probably why they think it doesn't count. So, yeah, go get your steps in, drink some regular ass water.
With the normal amount of hydrogens.
Yeah, with just the regular 2 hydrogens is good.
Yes.
If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, if there's any trends you're seeing popping up, we would love to dive into them before they take over the world. So feel free to send us anything you're seeing. As always,
and I think we did have another question about the somatic workouts. And I was pleased to tell them that we already made that episode. So I feel like we were like ahead of the trend, because I keep seeing it more and more and more. And I'm like, oh, we already made an episode about that. That's so great for us.
I've been seeing it pop up in some moms groups. I'm just going to start dropping the link to our podcast whenever I see questions about it. I wonder if I would be allowed to do that. I'm going to try it. Worst that happens is I get kicked out the club and you have to add me back into it.
We're not monetized. So it's not that we're I always feel weird because, man, people in moms groups give bad advice.
Terrible advice. I have to run away from the comments sometimes because I'm like, nope, I'm not even starting.
I've actually just stopped completely saying like I'm a coach or I'm a trainer or anything like that, because I just can't with the mental capacity it takes me to not scream at these people to stop.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just dropping links to our podcast every time I see a question about health and fitness in the moms group. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. If I get kicked out, you can add me back in. But yeah, as always, you can find the podcast at Lattes and Lifting podcast on Instagram and YouTube. You can come see my facial expressions and see the guest appearance in the background of my video. Yeah. And you can find me at coachjill.april on TikTok and Instagram.
And you can find me at JLock Fitness.
We will catch you guys next time.
Bye.